I can't speak loudly when I'm sitting. So, first of all, I'm extremely thankful, ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely thankful to UNAI and IBBMP for organizing this seminar. My topic is Pakistan, a military Raj, current condition of human rights in Pakistan, and recommendations for the United Nations. The first part is the story of 78 years. So it will be very difficult to talk in 5 minutes, but I'll like to go quickly in bullet forms. Pakistan was created in 1947 on the basis of a resolution called 23rd March 1940, also named as Pakistan Resolution, also named as Lahore Resolution, in which it was resolved that all the states, the word state was used, within this new country will be autonomous and sovereign. So it's a multi-nation state. 1947 it got created. At that time the nations in this country were Bengal, Sindhi, Saraiki, Punjabi, Pashtun, Baloch were not part of it. The founder of the country, Mehsud, after partition, instead of opting to become Prime Minister, he decided to be Governor General. And when the Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy, asked him why you don't want to be the Prime Minister, he said, the power will lie where I am. So the first brick of this country was laid crooked, oblique. And when it happens, the taller the building becomes, the more crooked it grows. The second thing was that the initial ruler of Pakistan were not elected from Pakistan. It will be strange for you. They were elected in India, from the constituency of India. And 70% of them had no constituency within the current Pakistan, and they became the ruler. And then many things happened. One was that 54% Bengal, which created Pakistan, was ignored, and a province which opposed Pakistan was preferred. The inner party struggle started among 3 communities within Pakistan in first 4 years. Bengal asking for majority, that we are majority. Punjab, who had opposed, asking that we should have the main say. Muhajir is the immigrant who came from India, saying they still call themselves Muhajir, I mean immigrants. That no, we have sacrificed. And in this whole scenario, Baloch and Pashtun had no say. No say. They were not even asked. Then, going quickly, Baloch was incorporated in 1948, as you mentioned before. This is being contested till today. Even in this book it is been mentioned. In his presentation, he has mentioned. Then Jinnah, the founder, died. His death by itself is a story you need to research on it a little bit. Then the Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister, was assassinated in broad daylight. His death inquiry, his assassination inquiry report is awaited till today. And during this period, the province which had opposed the creation of the country gradually took over the reins of the power corridor. And in this time, this had decided to have a control in the country, and this was not documentarily available initially, but now it's available. This is called Doltana documents, Mumtaz Doltana documents. When this community was taking over the reins and was planning to take over the country, all the ruling elite, the same time, 1954, 1955, this country named Pakistan became part of the Sito and Center. Hope you remember the names of this too. And in this way, they got an international or external coalition. So the minority imposing their will on the country could not be validated through elections. That's why no elections were held. And this civilian setup could not withstand the pressure of the rest of the nation. So the martial law came in 1958. When the martial law came in, the United States supported it. And that was the time when the United States said that the Pakistani army is the most allied ally of America. From here onward, what Pakistan became is military Raj. You may not be understanding, many of you, that what Raj means. It means the garrison state. And if any one of you is interested to study, kindly buy a book, Pakistan, the Garrison State by Ishfaq Ahmed. So it became the garrison state. Half of the tenure in 78 years was directly under the army general, while half of it was controlled democracy. It was never ever undiluted democracy. So it's said that when democracy is compromised, then accountability becomes selective. And when this too happens, there is a gap. In this gap, people are bound to disappear. And here is the philosophy of disappearances. But in this whole period, just to summarizing, what happened? In 25 years of this country, elections were not held. So the first victim was democracy. The second victim was federalism, as promised on 23rd March and the resolution of Pakistan. The third victim was welfare state. So it didn't become a welfare state, it became a garrison state. So coming directly to the current conditions, the current situation can again be gauged by the data of today. That army rule, well, one thing more, 23 prime ministers were removed, all of them were removed before their term. 2 of them were killed. 1 of them is blind. All of them were kicked out of the country. This is another story. But out of 16-year tenure was the presidential, and in the remaining 23 prime ministers were removed. While the generals, right from 1947 till now, there are only 17 generals of the army chiefs. Their tenure kept on extending, 7 years, 9 years, 11 years, 6 years, everybody. And today's chief marshal, field marshal, he will be in uniform till his last breath. No one can change him. This is the exact situation. The current Pakistan is where the army chief, the naval chief, the air force chief, their vice chiefs, the intelligence chief, the ISI chief, the MI chief, the FIA chief, and all the corps commanders are from one province. Not only this, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, the Finance Minister, the Interior Minister, the Defense Minister, the Information Minister, all are from the same province. And in these days, 27th Amendment has been passed, and this is where the human rights stands now, in which, number one, the Premier Intelligence Agency, ISI, is responsible for annual confidential reports of police officers, management officers. So police, I mean Superintendent Police to Inspector General Police, Assistant Commissioner to Chief Secretary, all will be gauged by ISI, and their promotion and transfer is also decided by ISI. The recruitment of judges, or appointment of judges, or selection of judges, whatever term you like, will be of course from amongst the lawyers. They can't be from amongst the doctors or engineers. So who will decide? ISI will decide. The judges have been made transferable. The judiciary has been totally made not only toothless, the judiciary has become post office. The orders are received on WhatsApp. During this period, what added power were given to ISI in regard to human rights? ISI can constitutionally, this has been institutionalized. ISI can pick anybody without any reason and keep him or her disappeared for 3 months, and this is not challengeable in any court of law. When they had no power, they were disappearing. You saw the video, and when they have power, what they are doing. The court issued a latest order that police can raid any businessman, can enter his house, break the doors, arrest him. So what happened? The let me give you the example of United Nations Development Program, UNDP report 2024, in which this elite class has been mentioned. The IMF report on corruption of Pakistan 2025. This says exactly what I am saying, but though the words will be different. So in current situation, there is no human right, there is no constitution. Whatever the general, the field marshal says, that's the order of the day. That's the constitution. So absentees, disappearances, everything is then in the hand of the army chief, and no one can challenge him whatsoever he commits. Unchallengeable, more than monarch. So finally, recommendations to the United Nations. I'll give you in written. I have written it. I don't want to read it out, but simply one thing is, I'll give it to you. That United Nations working group has done a lot, but they can't visit a country without the consent of that country. So what is needed is that a pressure should be developed to the extent that country is compelled that an independent investigation, a team should be sent by the United Nations where they can meet the relatives of the disappeared people, and a genuine inquiry report is prepared to the United Nations. In this time, I request United Kingdom, European Union, and all the Western countries with democracy, believing in human rights and human rights champions and other organizations like Amnesty International, like Human Rights Watch, and etc. And we need to improve our relationship. We need to comprehend it further. We need to strengthen it further. And if all this happens, we may get successful. And at the last, let me say that I am a Pashtun Afghan, but for Baloch, I am primarily free. I know what has happened in Balochistan. Dr. Deen Muhammad was shown here. His name was in the video. I had a meeting with him for whole one day once. I didn't know that Samit Deen Muhammad is his daughter. So I have seen Muhammad Qadir. We had very close interaction with each other. So the Baloch nation is suffering a lot. Same is the case of genocide of Pashtun and Baloch, but it is another issue. I'm extremely thankful to all of you, and particularly to UNAI and to IVBMP for organizing this seminar. And let's hope that the oppression will end and the oppressor will be punished. And let's join hands, let's join heads. Thank you.